Always be silent in these 9 situations. Marcus Aurelius Stoicism. What if the most powerful thing you ever say is nothing at all? 2,000 years ago, the most powerful man in the world, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, wrote private notes to himself about when to speak and when to hold his tongue. He commanded armies. He ruled an empire. And yet, again and again, he reminded himself that silence was often stronger than any command he could give. Today, you are going to learn the 9 situations where the Stoics believed silence is not weakness, but wisdom. Pay attention to number 7, because it is the one almost everyone gets wrong. Before we begin, understand one thing. Stoic silence is not about being passive, cold, or afraid. It is about control. Epictetus taught that some things are up to us and some things are not. Our opinions, our impulses, our words, these are up to us. Almost everything else is not. Every time you speak without thinking, you hand over the one thing you actually control. Silence is how you take it back. Situation number 1. Stay silent when you are angry. Think about the last time you said something in rage. Did it help? Or are you still cleaning up the damage? Seneca, in his famous essay on anger, called it a brief madness, and he advised that the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the real harm from anger is not what others do to us, but what anger does to our own soul. Here is the everyday test. Your partner criticizes you. Your coworker throws you under the bus in a meeting. Your first response is a weapon. Your delayed response is a tool. So when your blood is hot, close your mouth. Wait an hour. Wait a day. Anger always writes a check that your future self has to cash. Situation number 2. Stay silent when you do not know. There is a strange pressure in modern life to have an opinion on everything. Politics, markets, other people's marriages. But Epictetus was blunt about this. He said that it is impossible for a person to learn what he thinks he already knows. When you pretend to knowledge you do not have, you close the door on learning and you gamble your credibility. Picture this. In a work meeting, someone asks about a topic you barely understand. The fool improvises confidently. The Stoic says, "I do not know yet, let me find out." Which one would you trust with something important? Silence in the face of ignorance is not weakness. It is honesty. And honesty, to the Stoics, was the foundation of a rational life. Situation number 3. Stay silent when others are gossiping. Gossip feels like connection, but it is really a trap. Marcus Aurelius wrote that he learned from his teachers not to waste time speculating about what other people are doing or saying, unless it serves the common good. Why? Because every minute spent judging someone else's life is a minute stolen from improving your own. Here is how it plays out. The break room conversation turns to a colleague who is not there. Everyone leans in. You can add fuel, or you can simply say nothing and let the moment pass. And remember this. The people who gossip with you will eventually gossip about you. Your silence tells everyone in that room exactly what kind of person you are. That reputation is worth more than any juicy story. Situation number 4. Stay silent when you are being provoked. Insults are bait. The person provoking you wants a reaction, because your reaction gives them power. Epictetus taught that it is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about those things. An insult only becomes an injury when you accept it. Marcus Aurelius went even further, reminding himself that the best revenge is to be unlike the one who caused the harm. Think of the driver who cuts you off and then makes a gesture. The online stranger who mocks your work. The relative who needles you at dinner. When you respond, you are dancing to their music. When you stay silent, you unplug their speakers. Nothing frustrates a provoker more than realizing they never had access to your peace in the first place. Situation number 5. Stay silent when someone is grieving. This one surprises people. We think comfort means words, so we rush to fill the silence. Everything happens for a reason. They are in a better place. At least you had time together. Most of these phrases comfort the speaker, not the sufferer. Seneca wrote letters of consolation to grieving friends, and even he, a master of words, understood that presence matters before speeches. The Stoics practiced sympathia, the idea that all human beings are deeply connected, parts of one body. Sometimes the truest expression of that connection is simply sitting beside someone in their pain. When your friend loses a parent, you do not need a philosophy lecture. Show up. Bring food. Stay close. Your silent presence says what no sentence can. Situation number 6. Stay silent when your words would only complain. Take an honest inventory of your speech for one day. How much of it is complaint? The weather, the traffic, the boss, the prices. Marcus Aurelius warned himself against complaining even to himself, writing that he should either fix what troubles him or accept it, because whining changes nothing and corrodes the spirit. The dichotomy of control makes this simple. If the problem is within your power, act. If it is outside your power, complaining is just rehearsing your own helplessness out loud. Imagine your flight gets delayed 3 hours. One passenger narrates his outrage to everyone at the gate. Another opens a book. Same delay. 2 completely different evenings. Complaint is a prayer to no one. Silence, plus action or acceptance, is the Stoic answer. Situation number 7. Stay silent when you are desperate to impress. This is the one almost everyone gets wrong, because it hides behind ambition. You are at a dinner, an interview, a first date, and you feel that itch to list your wins, drop the right names, polish your image out loud. The Stoics saw this craving for applause as a chain. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself how quickly fame fades, noting that even the most celebrated names are soon forgotten, and that chasing the praise of others is chasing an echo. Here is the paradox. The person who talks endlessly about their achievements convinces no one. The person who listens, asks questions, and lets their work speak becomes magnetic. Seeking approval hands strangers the keys to your self-worth. Silence keeps those keys in your own pocket, where they belong. Situation number 8. Stay silent when someone else needs to be heard. Watch yourself in your next conversation. Are you listening, or are you just waiting for your turn to talk? The Stoic Zeno is credited with saying that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen twice as much as we speak. Epictetus repeated this idea to his students. Listening is not passive. It is a discipline. It is how you gather truth about the world and the people in it. Think of your teenager who finally starts opening up about a problem, or an employee raising a concern. The moment you interrupt with advice, the door closes. The moment you stay silent and truly listen, it opens wider. Some of the most important words you will ever hear only arrive when you stop making noise. Situation number 9. Stay silent about your own good deeds. You helped a friend move. You covered for a colleague. You gave to someone in need. Now comes the temptation to mention it, casually, just so people know. Marcus Aurelius had a beautiful image for this. He wrote that a person who does a good deed and then advertises it is like a vine that demands applause for producing grapes. The vine simply bears fruit and moves on to bear more. That is its nature. Virtue, for the Stoics, is its own reward. The moment you broadcast your kindness, you convert it into a transaction, a purchase of reputation. Do the good thing. Tell no one. Let the deed dissolve quietly into the kind of person you are becoming. That silent integrity is worth more than 1,000 compliments. So there they are. 9 situations. When you are angry. When you do not know. When others gossip. When you are provoked. When someone grieves. When you would only complain. When you want to impress. When someone needs to be heard. And when you have done good. Notice the pattern. In every case, silence is not retreat. It is command. Command over the one territory no emperor, no boss, no stranger can ever invade without your permission, your own mind. Marcus Aurelius ruled 50 million people, yet the empire he wrote about most was the one behind his own eyes. You rule that same empire. So here is your challenge. For the next 24 hours, before you speak, ask yourself one question. Does this improve on the silence? If the answer is no, say nothing, and notice how it feels to finally hold the reins. Which of these 9 situations do you struggle with most? Reflect on that tonight. Because the quietest person in the room is often the only one who is truly free.